Thank you for joining us. We'll begin with an opening statement from Ole Miss head coach Chris Beard.
Just congratulate Iowa State on a really good season. Obviously, both teams are a little bit outmanned. We're missing Mikael Brown. They're missing one of their best players. Really happy for everybody in our program, our organization, to get to this stage here, year two. It's all about the players. Matt and Brake and Jew coming back. All the guys like Barnes to my right that trusted us with a vision. It really hasn't been done recently, but telling these guys what we thought we could do at Ole Miss, they trust us enough to come. So just really excited about the players. All my thoughts right now are on those guys. We came here to win a 4-team tournament, so two down. It takes 6 to win the whole thing. So just told the guys to enjoy this for about a half a day, and then we'll get back to work tomorrow. We're excited about our next opportunity in the Sweet 16. The basketball game, it's really important to us to try to take care of the ball. Iowa State's one of the best teams in the country on forcing turnovers, 16, 17 a game on average. Our thing is to try to take care of the ball. It was a scary start for us. We had 3 turnovers in the first 4 minutes, but then to play the rest of the game, about 38 minutes of basketball with only 5 turnovers, that was really the difference in the game from our perspective. So, again, really proud of everybody in our organization. We're looking forward to competing next weekend.
Thank you, Coach. Questions for the Ole Miss student-athletes, please.
For either of y'all, but Matt, I'll start with you. Chris, the other day after North Carolina, when I talked about the poise y'all had to kind of withstand that second half run, and acknowledging kind of a little slow there at the start, just what is the poise of this team to handle these moments at this time of the year?
I think we can credit that to the veteran leadership that we have. We have a lot of veteran guys, a lot of seniors, a lot of guys who played a lot of college basketball. So, and then we also put an emphasis on winning time, the last few minutes of the game, just taking care of the ball, executing, whatever the coach is calling, trying to get the best shot we can. So I could just credit the coach for challenging us in practice to win in those moments and just us going out there and executing it.
Cheers. Hotty toddy.
For both players, Chris referred to the first few minutes as scary. They jumped out to an 8-point lead. After that, you guys dominated the game. Was there something that you kind of settled into? Was it just something you guys talked about, or what do you sort of attribute that to?
I think it's just, us just settling into the game. Iowa State, just wanted to turn us over, but we kind of came out a little sluggish. But once we settled in, we just, played our game, played our tempo, executed on offense, executed on defense, and then, we just had our foot on the gas from there.
Just like he was saying, the big thing was we had too many turnovers the first few minutes. Our goal is to always have 8 or less turnovers, and Iowa State is the team that forced 16, 17 turnovers a game. So I feel like once you started taking care of the ball more, we was able to settle in and was able to play.
Matt, you've been banged up this year. That's no secret. How meaningful is it for you to keep extending your season with this group of guys when it didn't seem like there was any thought that you'd shut anything down?
Man, it means everything. Just being hurt and just being able to go out there and still be able to affect winning with this team at a high level, it means everything. I praise God just allowing me to be able to continue to play without further damaging myself.
He's a dog.
Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. SEC has now broken a record for most teams in the Sweet 16 with 7. Obviously, both teams out of this pod have advanced. What do you guys think about that, and how has this league kind of prepared you guys to make a run in the tournament?
Like all year long, where everybody was talking about how dominant the SEC was in the non-conference, and then going into conference play, it was still dominant. Every game, every night was a tough game. So it doesn't surprise me at all, that going into March Madness that we have so many teams in the Sweet 16 because every team in that league is just so good, and the results show.
It's just a dogfight every night. Day in and day out. It's 2 games a week. So just on in the tournament you have 1 day prep. Sometimes you have most of the week, just depending on when you're playing. So, just the quick turnarounds, being able to do that in the SEC play, it allows us to be able to do it here in the tournament.
Steve McGargy, Associated Press. For Matthew, just start of this, what gave y'all confidence going into this season that y'all could do what you've been able to do? This was something that had been really done a whole lot at Ole Miss.
Looking at the guy right there. Every day he instills confidence in us, and just we all trust the work we put in, just the process day in and day out, the consistency of it. never taking each day for granted, trying to maximize our 24 hours. So, every day we just working and we let the work show.
Mike Severson, Marquette Wire. So, question I have for you guys, both of you, Matt and Davon. So, this veteran group coming together throughout the course of the last couple seasons, what's one thing that stands out to both of you guys about that?
I think it's everybody just buying in. Coming in with all these transfers into Ole Miss, and a lot of guys from different areas, different colleges, different teams, and then once we get it all together, how we all just bought into our roles, to our game plan, what coach had for us, and then ultimately the results just show how once everybody buys in that we can win.
Now, buying in was definitely a big thing. In this world of transferring now, people are transferring for their certain reasons, but I feel like everybody that came to this program, we all came to this program with one meaning, and that's to win. And most of the guys haven't been to the tournament, and to be able to make a run in the tournament is something special for all of us.
Thank you, student athletes. Appreciate your time very much. Questions for Coach Beard, please.
Chris, I was wondering if you might elaborate on what you were talking about earlier when you said the first few minutes were scary, and then after that you guys I played some of your best basketball this season. What do you think sort of led to the switch?
Yeah, just kind of a disappointing start because we spent a day and a half talking about some offensive spacing and objectives, and we just kind of did quite the opposite early. But give the guys credit. We got a poised group. They allow me to be me. Especially Juju, he always kind of calms me down. So, no, I thought we did a good job executing the game plan for probably 35 of the 40 minutes. And certainly a big part of the game plan was to try to take care of the basketball.
Chris, you've obviously coached in the Big 12, really good league. Now in this league, having this type of output in the tournament to get in, but then the advancement to the next weekend, what does that mean just as an SEC coach?
Yeah, it's really not about me. It's just about these players. I mean, we got guys that have played 4 and 5 years of college basketball and given everything they could have possibly given, and just haven't played in the NCAA tournament yet. So, and we felt that pressure. We were kind of a, win or bust team. Like we set the objective really high. We want to go in the tournament. We want to have a good seed. We want to be one of those teams that has a chance to win the tournament. And, Ole Miss winning the tournament, I don't know. Probable? No. Possible? Absolutely. Right now with our team, we're watching the Coach Valvano special. We're not done yet, and players are like, when are we going to finish? I said, we're going to finish on Sunday night, right before the Monday game. So it's not arrogance, but it's absolutely belief. If I didn't believe this team was capable of continuing to win games in this tournament, then I shouldn't be the coach at Ole Miss. So, but this is all about the players. These guys have really bought in. They've been an unselfish group since the first day of summer. And just to see their hard work pay off, it's really rewarding.
Chris, you said these guys let you be you tonight. Has this team sort of adopted your personality? Have they become more like maybe the way you are?
I think above all, I'm very competitive. I think above all, I don't try to think of words. I don't really care about people's feelings that I have a relationship with. So with the players, kind of a direct teaching. So, these players have allowed me to do that. Just like as a coaching staff, we've tried to reach the guys in the best way we can reach them. Some of these guys need that. They need the hard, direct message. Some of these guys need some kind of poise and confidence in moments. But I would say it's an accurate statement. These guys have allowed our coaching staff to coach them. And I think our staff's done a pretty good job allowing each guy in our program to be the best version of themselves as individuals as well.
Chris, I guess kind of going off that, even from November, you've coached Dia really, really hard from what I've seen. With how he played tonight, has that paid off? He seems to really respond to how you coach him. Yeah,
I thought Dia played great tonight. Just a handful of possessions that if he flips those, he plays elite. I'd give him a grade of great, not good. He came to play, did a lot of good things, but to me, there's just such a high ceiling in his game. And our Ole Miss team right now, continuing to play in this tournament, we need Dia's A-plus game. So Dia's a really talented player. We have a relationship. I appreciate him letting me coach him in the best way I know how. I'm proud of him. He's put a lot of work into this, and to see the work pay off now in his, third year of college basketball, I'm really happy for Dia.
Two more. Steve?
Steve McGarry, Associated Press. I'm just wondering, Padula, 20-point second straight game. Just what is, with his kind of swagger, confidence, experience, what has his addition meant to this program?
Yeah, I thought, the key to the game tonight is we get 5 guys in double-figure scoring. We take care of the basketball, and we are committed to the defensive end for most of the game. You mentioned Sean Padula. We have several players on our team that are fearless guys. They all have the courage to take that shot, make that play on defense. One of our challenges this year has been, when this journey started, making sure that each individual player could be the best version of themselves, but also let's work this as a team. So we spent some time this summer watching the USA Basketball documentary, trying to demonstrate how their team was a bunch of talented guys that came together with one purpose. Our team's a bunch of talented guys that come together with one purpose. Certainly not saying that we're USA Basketball talented, but there's a lot of parallels. And I think that's one of the stories of our team, is all these guys, they kind of check their egos at the door when they arrived at Oxford, and they're really playing for each other.
Last one.
Yeah, Coach, Dia told me that, you sold winning more than anyone else who recruited him in the portal, and that was how every conversation was Final Fours and national championships. And I guess, to go back in the locker room and see those guys after selling that and being able to say that the vision you shared was correct, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great, because those are the stories that will come later in life when we're having a reunion and hanging out and seeing each other as life goes on. We'll remember some of the bold statements that were made by players and coaches, and to see some of those things come to reality is cool. But I didn't shed my words with this team. The very first team meeting we had, we were talking about winning at the highest level, not making a tournament, but trying to be one of those teams that has a pathway to win a tournament. So, my thing about winning is, if there's a scoreboard, what is it, Margo? Scoreboard? If there's a scoreboard on, then you ought to try to win. So we do a lot of that in practice. Everything we do is competitive, and that's one thing I really try to get across. Especially portal recruiting really is like speed dating, and you get 5 minutes on the first phone call, 10 minutes on the first Zoom, 30 minutes on the first meeting, and you're trying to make an impression on that player. So the one thing that we talk about a lot is, hey, come to Ole Miss and help us win. And we define winning off the court, winning in the classroom, and certainly winning in the NCAA tournament. So now it's rewarding to see some of the things we talked about, come to reality.
Coach, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.